friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. We are in Bible study. We are in the NIV. I know people have very strong emotional reactions about the NIV, but we're going to read all the versions of the Bible, and we just started with the NIV. And actually, I think the one where everybody says they left so much stuff out. Great. It'll be the basis of our comparison, and we'll destroy it verbally as we go on to other versions of the Bible. Please calm down. So Matthew is the book that we're in. We're doing all of chapter 25, which is verses 1 through 46. The parable of the 10 virgins. Chapter 25, verse 1. At the time of the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were foolish, and 5 of them were wise. The foolish ones took their lamps, but did not take any oil with them. The wise, however, took oil jars along with their lamps. The bridegroom was a long time in coming, and they all became drowsy and fell asleep. At midnight, a cry rang out, "Here is the bridegroom! Come out to meet him!" All the virgins woke up, trimmed their lamps. The foolish one said to the wise, "Give us some of your oil. Our lamps are going out." "No," they replied. "There may not be enough for both of us and you. Instead, go to those who sell oil and buy some for yourselves." But while they were on their way to buy the oil, the bridegroom arrived. The virgins who were ready went in with him to the wedding banquet, and the door was shut. Later, the others also came. "Sir, sir," they said, "open the door for us." But he replied, "I tell you the truth. I don't know you. Therefore, keep watch, because you do not know the day or the hour." So this is the parable here. Like, you don't really have time in this world to go about in it acting a fool, sinning, hurting other people, not giving crap about feelings, treating your body or others with disrespect, talking to people like they're lesser than you, thinking you have the right to do all of that because you're going to have time to go ask him for forgiveness and get to heaven. No, there is no bank of karma goodness that keeps you on the slide to keep you from having to do any kind of penance or any of the rest of that stuff in order to... No. There is no time for that. You have to choose good in each individual moment, or you're in fact empirically not good by the definition here. There's no time for you to go look for what you were missing because you didn't properly prepare. You didn't give it enough forethought. He's saying that's not his problem. The parable of the talents, verse 14. Again, it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted his property to them. To one, he gave 5 talents. A talent was worth more than $1,000. Okay, so we're talking about money. Talents of money. Another 2 talents, and to another 1 talent, each according to his ability. Then he went on his journey. The man who had received 5 talents went out at once and put his money to work and gained 5 more. Also, so with the one with 2 talents, gaining 2 more. But the one who had 1 talent went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. So you had it, like you had your faith, and you did nothing with it. You had a big, beautiful, holy thing happen to you, a gift come in, and your answer was to do nothing with it. I don't. Just started to be like, oh, look at that. Isn't that nice? After a long time, the master of those servants returned and settled accounts with them. The man who had received 5 talents brought the other 5. "Master," he said, "you entrusted me with 5 talents. See, I have gained 5 more. His master replied, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things, but I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. Okay? Do a good job for the sake of doing a good job, get a good reward. The higher the responsibility you have, the more responsibility you have, the more responsibility, more responsible you need to be. The more you need to be responsibly focused on what you have in front of you. The man with 2 talents also came. Master, he said, you entrust me with 2 talents, and see, I have gained 2 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come share in your master's happiness. Then the man who received 1 talent came. Master, I knew that you were a hard man, harvesting where you had not sown, and gathering where you had not scattered seed. So I was afraid and went and hid your talent in the ground. See, here is what belongs to you. His master replied, you wicked, lazy servant. You knew that I harvested where I have not sown, and gather where I have not scattered seed. Why then should you have not put my money on deposit with the banker, so that when I returned, I would receive it back with interest? Why didn't you do what was smart? Take the talent from him and give it to the one who has 10 talents. For everyone who has will be given more, and he will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what he has will be taken from him. And throw that worthless servant outside into the darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So, God doesn't take to the hiding of your expression of faith, because that's really what that parable translates to. The sheep and the goats. Verse 31. When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, he will sit on his throne in heavenly glory. All the nations will gather before him, and he will separate people from one another as a shepherd separates sheep from goats. He will put the sheep on the right and the goats on the left. Okay. The king will say to those on the right, come, you who are blessed by my Father, take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me. Then the righteous will answer him, Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see you a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you? The king replied, to tell you the truth, whoever did for one of the least of these brothers of mine, you did for me. That's why I give the reminder. Remember, if you go out into the world and you're deliberately disrespectful to somebody, or you even feel like you have the right to be deliberately disrespectful to people, you are being deliberately disrespectful to Jesus by his words. Then he says to those on his left, depart from me, you who are cursed, into the eternal fire, prepared for the devil and his angels, the ones that rebelled. For I was hungry, and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, and you did not invite me in. I needed clothes, and you did not clothe me. I was sick and in prison, and you did not look after me. If you are callous with your fellow humanity, you are not walking the narrow footpath that is the Christ consciousness. He's not giving you leeway to decide. You're not a disciple of his if you do not do those things voluntarily and willfully from heart. It's supposed to be second nature. Verse 44, they will also answer, Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty or a stranger or needing clothes or sick or in prison and did not help you? He will reply, I tell you the truth. Whatever you did not do for one of the least of these, you did not do for me. Then they will go away to eternal punishment, and the righteous will have to eternal life. So there you have it, right from Matthew chapter 25. You can't get into eternal life or get into heaven and treat people in the 3D world terribly. You can't not care about their feelings. You can't not care if they're taken care of. You can't not care if bad things happen to them and get into heaven. Because when you do that, you also don't care about Jesus. Until a little while from now, friends.